But it's an extreme pleasure to be with you all this evening. You know, one of the things that's unique about our industry is we have a lot of people that we all look up to. You know, I remember when I was in 8th grade, I had seen Maynard Ferguson for the first time, and I was stuck on the trumpet and wanted to play his high C, even though I could never accomplish that throughout my whole life. But we all have those people that we look up to. And Conn-Selmer is very blessed to have over 900 artists that are part of our family, and many have been for many years. And 6 years ago, we started Center Stage Lifetime Achievement Award to honor those artists that have gone the extra mile throughout their careers, both from a performance standpoint, but also giving back to education. And this year, Conn-Selmer would like to recognize Selmer Parish artists that we all met earlier today, and that's Mr. Mark Colby, who's here with us. And I'd like to just give a brief background of Mark's career so we can celebrate him this evening together. Born in Brooklyn, New York in 1949, Mark comes from a musical family. His father was a professional drummer who played with Benny Goodman in the 1940s. At the age of 8, Mark was given a clarinet and lessons with a wonderful teacher by the name of Bill Schlager. At the age of 11, Mark took up saxophone and immersed himself in the sounds of the big bands enjoyed by his father. In 1962, at the age of 14, Mark's family moved to Florida, where he began to play professionally. 14, you began playing professionally, that's amazing. He had the opportunity to play his shows with Tony Bennett, Sonny and Cher, Ann Margaret, and Sammy Davis Jr., for many years being the youngest on the bandstand. After high school, Mark attended the University of Miami, enrolling in Jerry Coker's Jazz Studies program. Mark had the opportunity of also working with Jerry Mulligan while he was an artist in residence. While in college, Mark recorded with the likes of Dr. John Wilson Pickett, Bill Wyman of the Rolling Stones, and the Bee Gees. After getting his master's, he received a call from Maynard Ferguson, inviting him to join his band in New York. After 3 years of touring and 3 albums with Maynard, Mark signed on with Columbia Records to begin his solo career. In 1980, Mark moved to Chicago with a very active music scene, recording jingles, records, and performing many gigs in that very busy scene in Chicago. In 1983, Mark was approached by DePaul University, where he taught for over 30 years as a jazz saxophone instructor. In 1998, Mark also took on a position at Elmhurst College, where he is still teaching today, and I'm sure many of us are familiar with the Elmhurst Jazz Festival that happens out there. Throughout the years, Mark has toured with artists such as Frank Sinatra, Jaco Pastorius, Mose Allison, Joe Williams, and Charlie Hayden. In addition, Mark has performed Duke Ellington's The Nutcracker Suite with the Chicago Symphony Orchestra. Mark has released multiple great albums, with his latest work, All or Nothing at All, in 2017, and is currently working on a new recording of Brazilian music due out early 2019. Through Mark's travels, he has done hundreds of clinics on behalf of Conn-Selmer and Selmer Parish throughout the country and abroad. I know personally, Mark, you've done a ton for our organization. You and I have done a lot over the last 12 years together in many different events. And with all the artists that I see throughout the country, there's not many that are more humble than Mr. Mark Colby. So this evening, please join me in congratulating on the Center Stage Lifetime Achievement Award, Mr. Mark Colby.
Sometimes it pays to get old. As Clark Terry used to say, the golden years, my ass. Anyway, thank you, Mike. Ever since I was a teenager, I'd say I was about 13 or 14, I was listening to music all the time. All of my heroes, Benny Goodman, Stan Getz, John Coltrane, Sonny Rollins, the greatest saxophone players in the world, and clarinet players in the world. Selmer That was it. That was the dream. You know, you start off on a beginning instrument, and if you can get proficient enough, and you finally you dream about getting that professional instrument to take you that little extra mile. And I remember hanging up a picture in my room. It was Conn-Selmer used to have the back cover of Downbeat magazine every month, and it had a picture of a Mark VI saxophone on a nice saxophone stand. Well, I tore the back of the cover off, and I taped it in my room, and it was the last thing I saw before I went to bed that night. And I said, someday, I'm going to get one. And luckily, when I was 15 years old, my dad had my former teacher in New York, because we lived in Miami by that time, and he picked up a horn for me. And from that day on, I knew that I'd never play another instrument, you know, until this day. And I play the old ones, I play the new ones, and they're the most magnificent instruments on the planet, as far as I'm concerned. And as far as my relationship with Conn-Selmer, I mean, I haven't met a nicer, greater bunch of people over the years that are truly dedicated to making things better, making instruments better, and being heavily involved in the education system, which is, of course, really extremely important because we got to keep kids playing music. It may be the only sanity left, you know, that we have for a while. So, you know, it's just a marvelous organization, and I am so grateful to be associated with them all these many years since I think the late 70s. Most of you weren't even clean in anybody's eye. But it's a wonderful honor, and I am truly grateful and humbled by it, and I thank each and every one of you that's here. Thank you.
We have a couple of special things here for you, Mark. We have a special award from our friends in Paris. This is directly from the Selmer Paris family. It's a custom engraved from the entire family. It's got your name on the front bell there, signed by the Selmer Paris family for all the work you've done for them throughout the years on Selmer Paris. So thank you again and congratulations.
Can I
All right. What a moment. Thank you so much, Mark. All right, we're going to transition to some entertainment this evening. I'd like to welcome up, and before I do this, I just want to say we have a lot of great category managers that work with Mark and many of our other artists. For our woodwind category, we have Mr. Scott Campbell. If he could join me up front. Come on up, Scott.